Welcome to Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey.
I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations.
Yeah.
Today, we're talking about Chanel being old.
And Sherry Renee's birthday is in 23 days. I counted.
What? Don't be counting?
I mean, I was like,
Did nobody tell you to count?
We gonna put me on blast. We got 23 days, and then we'll be the same age.
No, we ain't never the same age. Because you are always
Old,
like
old,
what?
old.
35 days older than me or something like
yeah.
that? Always.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Something like that. I don't know.
A little bit.
But the point is, you old. And we got to talk about it.
We do. It's real.
But before we get into that, we're going to start like we always do with a toast.
All right. So my toast is going to be to Cara Locke Harris, who was featured on our show a little while ago. But I just wanted to thank her again. She's definitely inspired my mom, and I love that my mom is really excited.
Yeah, your mom is like a fan.
She is. Like, she really loves Cara. Like, she talks about her all the time. And then Cara sent her a signed copy of her book, and I just thought that was dope that she didn't have to do that. And she did. My mom loved it. Like, every time she talks to me, she tells me that, and I'm like, you already told me.
Okay. I got it, Mom. Right. I saw the photo. You sent it to me. You posted about it.
But I listen to her every time because she really got a kick out of that. So thank you, Cara. That was awesome. And, you know, we are definitely fans over here. Your book was really amazing. So looking forward to what you have coming up.
Letters from Christ.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yes, my toast goes to, so apparently the shutdown is done.
Right. Listen, 35
Breaking
days.
News.
That's crazy.
Yes. So I'm just glad that that's over with. I was becoming very concerned because, number one, you know, free lunches for the kids were in jeopardy. People not showing up to work. I was at my dad's house the other day. The mail came at like 9 p.m. and I was like, so y'all just deliver whenever, however you want to.
They was probably all like, not it.
Right.
Like, I ain't going.
And regular clothes. Like, you know, just stuff like that.
It's tough.
So, you know.
And you haven't had to travel though, have you?
No, thank goodness. I have not had to travel. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
So that's my toast.
Oh, no, that's right. Yeah. Shout out to the government being back. He said for 3 weeks. And I was just like, okay, whatever.
Start cutting those checks.
Right. Pay these people what they deserve. But yeah, we kept talking about it at work. Like right now would have probably been a really good time to travel, seeing that TSA was just like, nope.
No, they said that there's been significant delays.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what was concerning me because, you know, I have people coming to visit me at work every week.
Yeah.
And I got folks coming next week, too. And, you know, some of them are flying in one day and flying back out.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad that that's over. But I know in Atlanta and Hartsfield Airport, TSA agents were really lenient. Like, just go. Like,
just go.
We don't care. Just go.
So ID, no ID, passport,
like,
no passport.
It don't even matter. Just come on through. Grenade, whatever you got, just come on. But yeah, so I mean, if you were traveling and you just got through, and like they didn't make people take off their shoes or nothing, like they were just like, just go, which is my worst part of traveling and having to do all of that,
which presents a safety risk
for sure,
obviously,
sure. But you know, and for that reason, it's just like I understand them, but I'm thankful. We're all thankful that that's over because that was ridiculous.
So next on the menu is breaking bread. So what's going on?
It is frighteningly cold in Wisconsin. I
got on my gloves right now.
Yes, in the studio with gloves and hats on. Like, this is
really, yeah, I do have my hat on. You do
have on a hat too. I'm like, this is really crazy. And you know, we were born and raised in Wisconsin, so we know, but we don't know.
It's a new strand of code every year.
That's
my theory, is that every year there's a new strand of code, so you can never get used to this. This is like the flu.
It is.
We are not immune.
And this year it's extreme. Like, how is the high in the negative?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the high is in the negative and the low is like double digit negative. So it's been really crazy. Schools were canceled on Friday. Some schools were canceled on Wednesday. We didn't have school Monday due to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So last week was just like a wash. So that's what was going on with me. I haven't been out the house since Thursday, honestly. Like, I haven't checked the mailbox. I haven't taken the trash out.
I was proud of you for coming here.
I did. And I was thinking about it, like, dang, we got to record. But, you know, I ain't going to miss recording with the bestie. But I ain't been outside. So I was just like.
I was like, she going to call in.
We going to make this a fast. So I'm going to do everything while I'm out today. Like, I'm going to make some errand runs because I ain't going back outside.
Right. Yeah,
because it's crazy.
Yeah. So for me. So Founders Week was last week, so we've been busy doing all of that stuff. So I'm glad that all that stuff is finally done.
It's over.
Like you said, we had a big snowstorm. I did go into work. A lot of people either, you know, were working from home or whatever. Mm-hmm. I braved the snow and went in, and it was bad getting in. Yeah. It was really bad.
Yeah, we had school that day.
But,
yeah, our school did not shut down, so I was there too.
Yeah. Oh.
It's crazy.
That's unfortunate.
We had like 20 kids in the whole school.
But no, I was there. I have an interview on Monday.
Oh, cracking. All right.
Yeah, I think I told you that my old boss reached out to me and said, come work for me. And I was like, I don't know. We gonna see.
We gonna see.
So
what that talk is.
I gotta listen to that Joan episode and make sure that I'm interviewing them. And, you know, it's good to interview when you don't need a job.
I know that's right.
Then they really gotta persuade you to come on.
Exactly.
It's not like pick me.
It's like, right. You need me. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe not.
Hey, we gonna see if it works. So but we'll y'all need me when I need y'all. Look at you going back to reference our own work.
Hey, that's what's up. If you can't reference your own work, then hey,
what you doing it for?
Right, exactly.
It makes sense to me.
Like you said, Dr. Martin Luther King Day happened. So I was out at Longfellow School, doing the beautification project, painting the school, which was basically coloring inside the lines.
Right.
Because I'm no artist.
Hey, but you got to do it.
It was good. It was fun. And actually, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes and Governor Tony Evers was there as well.
Oh, nice.
So I didn't even know that they were coming and doing a whole speech and all that, but it was good that they were out there in the community. So that was good as well.
Awesome. Yay.
So now it's time for the tip.
Alrighty.
So we are reading a new book. Yes, we are.
Oh.
It is called Conversations with God, an Uncommon Dialogue. You can get it on Audible. It is by Edward Answer and narrated by Ellen Burstyn. I probably pronounced that wrong, but it's okay.
Hey.
So read along with us.
Yeah.
Get your free 30-day Audible trial, www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties.
Awesome. And we do have an extra tip today for our listeners. So, great news. The Good News radio station is trying to give away some money. So, make sure. Money. Yes, money. Who doesn't like money? So, they are having a contest giveaway. It's so easy. All you have to do is collect the secret words to complete the phrase. So, make sure you listen to Courtside, Straight to the League, Brunch with Besties, of course, and Never Not Extra, which comes on Tuesday, 8:30. First person to complete the phrase and DM or email the Good News radio station wins a $50 gift card. It's $50, y'all. You could use it for gas or, you know, groceries, whatever you need. Get that money. Get that bag. And furthermore, our secret word is radio. So good luck. Follow the Good News on IG and download the Good News Radio app so you can listen to all of those podcasts so you can get the rest of the secret words to complete the phrase for more information. Good luck to you guys.
Yes, and we are on the Good News Radio every Monday at 7 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
And 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
There you go.
Actually, I think I said that backwards. We are on 7 p.m.
Yes, here.
Central
there
Standard
we go.
Time and 5 p.m.
Look at me.
Pacific
I was co-signing. Hey,
right.
I'm sick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sick. But yeah. So yes, definitely download the app. Listen to all those cool podcasts. They're very exclusive to that app and the radio station. And the radio station is doing great things. We love y'all for real.
All right, so next on the menu is tea time.
Yes.
And we're talking about you.
Oh, no.
Being old.
Being old. I was thinking about this on the drive here. It's so funny that I don't think, like, 32 is an significant year. Like, you don't, when you're a kid, you don't be like, oh, I can't wait until I'm 32. Like, I'm going to do this. I think you're excited about, like, 21 and you're excited about 18. You may be excited about 30, but 32 is just like, whatever.
Who's counting?
So, right. Who's counting at this point? I don't think I've ever envisioned myself being 32. And I had to think back, like, what was my mama doing when she was 32? And she had like 2 kids, a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old. Like, I was just like, oh, no. So it's just definitely a difference in my 32 than hers. Like, I felt like she was like a real grown up.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Because I remember when my mom was in her 30s, and in my mind, she was a real adult.
A real adult.
But in my mind, I'm like a fake adult.
Me too. And that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm not adulting. Just, I haven't reached that master level of adulting.
You're like associate level adulting?
Yeah, I'm like associate level. Like, I'm not there. Like, if
you're like a lukewarm adult.
Yeah.
You like
so if something happens, I need to consult with a real adult so that I can make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. So yeah, 32. But I did, coming into this birthday, like, I did want to hype it up though, to be like, it's my magic year, like 32, this is great. And this year started off really nice. Like, I don't have any complaints. I feel like the trajectory of my life is going pretty well. I do feel like there's still so much I can learn. So who's to say like what an adult actually is? Because I feel like there's still so much knowledge and things that I want to learn and do. But I'm not afraid. Like, I'm enjoying being 32. It is what it is. Like, I can't be anything else. But yeah, as a kid, I was never like, yeah, I'm gonna be 32. Now, thinking back from a kid, like, I definitely was like, yeah, I'm gonna be like, kids, I'm gonna live in a mansion, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna have a husband and all these kids, and yeah, I don't have all that stuff, but that's okay. Hey. So yeah, but man,
what do you want from 32?
That's a really good question. So every year, like, I do goals set about things that I want to do, but one of the top priorities that's really been on my mind a lot is life insurance, which has really been like on my mind and heart like every day. Now, I do have life insurance. I don't want y'all to think I'm out here like being trifling. So I do have life insurance, but I do want to see about options as far as like other companies and what they can offer me and to my son, just because I think that right now that's an important thing for me right now in my life. So that's what I want for 32, is to get up on my game of what happens when I'm not around. So when I'm
life insurance is one of the main ways that people pass down wealth, generational wealth.
Yeah.
And it's one of the main things that us as a people, Black people, we tend not to do.
Yep.
We will take life insurance from our job should they offer it, but a lot of times we don't have our own personal
separate
policies.
one. Yep.
And if we do, it's usually only enough to literally cover the funeral, and that's it.
Yeah, and which is sad. And I don't want to leave my son in that financial bind to be like, oh no, like this is what I have to do. But I do, I want to get some more set up for him and I, just so that we're good. And I think right now I'm at a career where I my salary is comfortable enough where I can do that. Whereas before it was just like, I don't got the money for all this, but yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I was actually looking at getting a few more policies for my mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's interesting that you brought up life insurance. This morning, one of my dad's members and close friend, and actually one of his renters, her sons got shot at last night. And one of them, she was at the hospital with him, and she thought the other one was with the police, but she found him dead.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and nobody ever imagines, obviously, that their child
is
going to, that somebody's going to play God and try to take their child away. And I don't know what happened and all that. All I know is her son isn't here.
Right. Oh my.
And it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, it's better to just have those things in place. Like life insurance.
It really is. And then, it'll alleviate some of the burden because you're already dealing with a lot.
Right.
I lost somebody that I love. And then, funerals and bereavement is expensive, like everything else in America. You have to pay for all of that, and those things can be quite expensive. And during that time, that's definitely not something that you should have to worry about, to be like, well, how am I going to pay for this? Or, you know, people are doing GoFundMes and all this other stuff.
And I've heard that at some funerals, they have to pass the collection plates because, I guess the funeral homes, if you ain't got the money, they ain't burying you.
Yeah. They're not
playing about their money.
It's a business. Like, we have to get our money as well, which, I mean, that's another episode of how I feel about funerals and stuff. But I mean, just me personally, I don't think they're necessary. Like, I get it, like, you want to say goodbye, but that's just my own personal opinion about funerals. Like, I feel like just cremate me and go about your business. Like, we don't need to spend money on this, but that's neither here nor there.
So for 32, do you want anything else?
I want I did not think this was about to be an interview about me. This is funny.
I said we talking about 32.
Listen, I thought we was gonna talk about you finna be 32 in 23 days.
Hey,
no, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know why you counted. That ain't right.
Listen, I just need to make sure. But what I would like, I'm definitely to the point. It's funny that was not funny, but I had my son when I was like 20, turning 21 is when I had JR. And then like I wanted a kid. This is, y'all probably be thinking I'm trifling, but I love my son. Don't get it twisted. But I wanted a kid, but everybody around me was having kids, so that like played a factor in it. Like, oh, well, then I want to have a baby too. This is so crazy. But that's really what happened. Anyway, but now that I'm 32, it's definitely like there's something internally in me that's like, I want to have a baby. Like, I don't know what it is. And I just really be like, dude, chill. Like, no. Because I went to the doctor and I got my wonderful IUD, which is absolutely the best drug that I've ever been on in my entire life. So yeah, it's like, I know I can't have a kid at this point, but my body is definitely like, yes, this is what it needs to do. So 32, like now I'm definitely looking on the quest to, you know, love and open that up and see where that will bring me, because I definitely won't have a baby the way I did the first time. So if I'm not married, you know, I would definitely suppress that feeling like, nope, you're not doing that again. But, you know, if things happen in the way that, you know, God intended it to happen, like love and then you get married, yeah, hopefully the next step would be a baby like soon after. Yeah.
That's funny, because I remember when you had him, you said, I will never.
Listen.
You know, after that 9-pound child came out of you, you was like,
in the world, I was like,
I will never.
Whose idea was this? Like, oh, gosh.
You wanted to have a conversation with Eve and everything.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it was bad.
It was bad, y'all. And again, that's because the first time I did it for the wrong reason. Like, I was just like, oh, she got a cute, cuddly baby. I don't want one, too. Like, this is great. Like, you know, I was in a relationship with a guy. We had been in a relationship for a minute and he was cool. So I was just like, yeah, like I like where this is going. And we had talked about like having a family. So it wasn't just like, surprise, I'm going to trap you. It wasn't on nothing like that. But now that I'm older and I know a little bit more, like my body is definitely like, baby, like have a baby. But, you know, my mind is telling me no.
No, we're not singing.
Oh, yeah. You can't sing here. Dang!
Edit, douche.
Edit that, douche. Damn you, R. Kelly. But no, I'm definitely like, nah, like, you got to do it a different way. But I'm opening up myself to love this year and, you know, see where that takes me. And just letting it stuff kind of happen the way it's happening in a different way. So that's what I'm expecting, or I'm trying to get out of 32. Like, get your...
What was the biggest challenge at 31?
31 was odd. Like, it was kind of like a odd year for me. Because 30, I felt like 30 was really good. Like, 30 came in, like, my life, I started to, like, pick myself back up and get myself on my feet. Whereas 31, I was just like, okay, what now? Like, what am I doing? Yeah, 31, it was just like, you know, and I was teaching. I was just like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm just over it. Love life was just, there was none. It was just like, okay, what am I doing here? Yeah, I kept going back and forth. Like, do I try to move again? Like, do I relocate? Like, what am I doing? So I was really in that stage of what's next? What can I possibly do? So 31, yeah, it was just like, trying to figure out what was going on. But then when I put those pieces in place to really, trust God's plan for me and be like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to teach. I know I have to get out of this for my own mental health. And because I'm just not being the best Chanel that I can be in this role, like I have to step out and do something else. So once I did that, things started to turn around. So that's why I feel like I came into 32 so like feeling so blessed and so happy. Like this is good. Like it was a good sign that things are, I'm moving in the right direction. So 31 kind of gave me that nudge to be like, go do it. And 32 is kind of like taking off.
So what would you say is your biggest life lesson so far? In the whole 32 years, all of them. That's about 3 decades.
Right. Dang, thinking about it like that is a long time. And again, when you're kids, you do be like, dang, you old. Like, that's a long. But then when you're in it, it's just like, what have I learned?
Well, you just keep moving the old mark
back. You're right.
You're like, no, old is like 40.
Right.
But then when you're 40, you're like, so it's like 50.
Yep. And then when you're 50, you're like, no, it's like
70.
Yeah.
Definitely 70.
Wow, that's a really great question. What have I learned so far? Okay.
Biggest life lesson in these 3 decades.
Wow. So for me, it's definitely been to not be so like quick to do things, and that's kind of been my downfall. Like if I have an idea in my head, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna go. Like I'm just gonna do it. Oh, you want to move to North Carolina? Go do it. Like I don't really think or plan about the outcomes of what could happen, what couldn't happen. I just do it. Same like I just said, I wanted to have a baby. Go. Like I just do stuff. Without really thinking about how this is going to play out, which I know I'm not the only one, but maybe I'm the only one that will admit to that. So that's been me for a long time. Like even when I was a kid, like I've just been, if I want to do something, I'm going to go do it. Whereas now I kind of think about it. Like, how is this going to work? What benefits does it have for me? What can the negative outcomes be? Like I'm thinking more about the whole thing and not just this one action, because I mean it's all kind of like domino effect. If you do one thing, then something else can happen. So I definitely been thinking a lot about that, and then more so like really trying to listen and understand God and how that drives me has been something that I've added to that. And I feel like this year and even towards the end of last year, like I've been doing so well with spending time talking and listening to God, which has been something that I struggled with forever, but it's been going really well lately. And I think that in part with me slowing down to really think about all options, is something that I've definitely learned to do better at.
What has been the biggest blessing? In these 3 decades, 2 years.
It probably
don't make me count the days.
I don't know, real like goodness. Don't do that. It's right a lot. Probably the biggest blessing has absolutely.
11,000.
Oh my goodness!
In 80 days.
That's crazy. 11,000 days. Wow.
It's closer to 12,000. So I said 11,600.
You said really 12,000.
You know, when you round up.
So bad. No, the biggest blessing has totally been JR. Like he's a really good person. And then sometimes I kind of get on myself, like do more. Like, are you doing right by him? And, you know, I just question being a parent, but he's definitely, I couldn't imagine life without having him. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of parents say that. It's kind of cliche, but it's really true. Like, I don't know what I would be doing. I would probably be doing stupid stuff like I was doing before, like just being so irrational about things and kind of going about what I want to do. But now it's really like, does this benefit him? Like, how will this affect him? So I'm definitely thinking a little bit more about his needs and, you know, the dreams and goals he has. Like, I'm really trying to help him through all of that. So he's a huge blessing to my life. Yeah, I just hope I'm doing right by him.
Worst part. In your 11,680 days.
The worst part? These are really great questions. I would say the worst part might be, to kind of flip it up, is to not recognize the beauty that I have. Like, it's taken me a long time to kind of see that within myself, and not let it be defined by either other people, or now, since we're in this social media age, not letting social media define that for me. So I think that will be the worst part. Like, just growing up as a Black female, like, it's hard, man. Like, it ain't no books for this. You just kind of got to go through it. And I think that's kind of been the worst part, like the growing pains. But I guess it made me the woman that I am today. But some of those growing pains were really difficult, like just not feeling beautiful, or you too skinny, or you too dark, or you too this, or you too that. So it's just, that stuff that was tough, but I'm glad to be past all of that. And, you know, here I am today at 32. So
here I am.
Hey, I made it. Never would have. I can sing that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know. We're going to check to see who wrote it. He wrote a lot of stuff.
I don't know.
You know.
R. Kelly could have wrote it. I hope he didn't know.
He wrote a lot of stuff. So what about, like, scariest times? Like, what has been your biggest fear?
There's been a few. One being my sister, finding out that she had cancer. That was tough, because I've lost people that I've been close with, but not like that close. Like not a sibling. So
she just celebrated her birthday.
She did. She celebrated her birthday on Thursday. So shout out to Nikki. Happy birthday.
What season now?
Aquarius.
What's that number 138? I'm just
y'all just didn't make it to Capricorn season, but that's okay. I love y'all for real. But yeah, she just celebrated her birthday, so happy birthday. I hope she enjoyed it. And I'm glad she was here to celebrate life, because that really, I think it threw our family off. Like, we were just like, what? For the fact that, you know, we kind of had a roller coaster relationship before that. So then that happened, and, you know, he'll check you quick. And I think that was a check-in for all of us, to be like, y'all being petty, like, get over it, because life is short. So yeah, so that happened, and that, like, took me out. Like, I was trying to, you know, I repress stuff, so I would try to hold it in, but it really, like, made me be like, no, I don't want my sister to die. I mean, death is inevitable, but it's just like, when it happens like that, it's just
untimely.
Like, oh, yeah, like, come on. So that was something where I was just like, And then, you know, my mom is getting older, and it's always in the back of my mind to be like, she's not going to be here for much longer. Like, who knows? So really? that I always think about that. Like, that worries me. And then for the simple fact that her mom passed away when she was so young. So every day, like, I'm kind of holding on and grasping that she's still here, because she didn't have that, and I didn't want that for me. Like, I couldn't imagine, because, like, we talked about on the episode that she was on, like, my mom could have died. Like, she could have not been here right now. So every day, you know, I try to talk to her and see her.
Violence.
So that throws me off a little bit. So those are my two fears, that my mom or my sister wouldn't be around, because I don't know what I would do.
You know, I think subconsciously, I know, like, you know, like I just said, like, yes, I'm looking into life insurance, more policies for my mom. So it's like, I know that. Yeah. But I don't really know that. Yeah. You know, because in my mind, I would be, like, completely shocked. I'd be like, what?
You and me both. Like, I would just be like, you know what? Take me lower.
Right.
Like, I'm just,
everybody's going.
Yeah, like, no, like, your mom, like, and then, you know, I know friends at this point, like, we're 32, and I know a bunch of people at this point. Now, I'm sorry, guys, I'm trying to fix my thing, so I'm far away from the mic, but I know a lot of people now at this point who has lost their mom, and we're only 32, so it's just like, if you still have your mom, like, that's a blessing, man. Like, really, no matter how old you are. But, you know, at our age, it's really like, wow, like, keep up with that, or be blessed in that. Because, like I said, my mom, that happened when I was like, I had to have been like 6 or 7. Like, I was pretty young. So the thing, like, if she wouldn't have pulled through from that, like, I wouldn't have had a mom for all this time. Like, just going through stuff. Yeah. Like, that would have been tough for me, and that would have been even younger than my mom lost her mom, because my mom was like 17, 18 when her mom passed away. So I would have just been in the world without a mommy. So I always think about that, and just I'm forever grateful that she is still here, and you know, I hope she continues to be here for at least the next 100 years. So yeah.
So what has been the thing that shocked you? That was like, yep, did not see that coming.
Man, these body changes. I'm being real with y'all right now. Like, the woman's body is really interesting. Like, just growing up being that really skinny girl to be like, oh, and you know, wishing I was thick. Like, I wish I had a booty, or I wish I had breasts, or you know, all this stuff. And then now that I'm older, and it's just like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want this body. And I know it's simple enough. Like, y'all probably thinking like, dude, just go work out. Like, you're fine. Which is true. Like, I can totally go work out and exercise and eat right. But, you know, when you... Well, for me, I'll say for me personally, like, when you grew up just naturally being skinny and you didn't have to do all that stuff, and it was just like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't even know how to stop eating.
Yeah, if that's not your norm, then you're like, no, I'm just supposed to be skinny. Exactly. My metabolism should just be what it is.
Exactly, and that's what it is in my brain. I really need to remove myself from that, because clearly God had other plans for my body, and now I need to be like, okay, I can work at it. I mean, it is what it is, but that's definitely been a shock to be like, and then, you know, my body just be hurting and just new stuff. Like, this is crazy.
Apparently 30 is the new 60.
Well, at least for me, I don't know. It's some pretty healthy, like, fit people out here that probably do not experience
your body tell you when it's going to rain?
You know what? It doesn't. But, like, when it's a full moon, like, I usually have headaches and stuff. So I do know that. But, yeah, I just don't be with the S where I ain't gonna say the words, but I don't just be with a lot of stuff. Like, I just want to be in the house now all the time. And I think that's an attest to being older, where you just don't care about much anymore. No more.
Well, I think it's realizing what's important and what really matters.
I was just about to say, let me backtrack. But yeah, the things that don't matter, you just like whatever. So that's kind of a shock to me, where I used to be a little pressed, and I'm not as pressed as I used to be. Like, I'll just be like, I don't care.
So, wait, a little pressed?
Yeah, right.
Or a lot of pressed.
A lot of pressed. I used to be a lot pressed, but now I just be like, you know what? It's cool. Like, all right, Joss, you straight. Man, this thing's gonna fall on my head. You gonna be like, bro, are you depressed? Like, my hair is a mess under here.
Chanel has on a wrap that she's really trying to keep on her head, but it keeps slipping.
It's gonna fall off before we leave, and you and Dooch just gonna have to see my struggle braids under here.
That's funny. Any regrets?
No. You know what? I don't want to say I have any regrets. For the simple fact that I feel like they all shaped and made me to the person I am. Now, you know, if I wanted to remove some guys off my body count list, I probably would. Like, that's probably the one thing where it's just like, why are you so free in that aspect? But that's one thing where I would alter. I don't regret it, because I mean, it now I realize, like, you're worth so much more, and you allow, you know, people who didn't deserve you to be in that space like that. So I don't want to say, you know, regrets, because like I said, it definitely made me the Chanel that I am right now. And I think I'm proud of, I'm proud of the Chanel that I am today at 32. Yeah, and I've only been 32 for like a couple
5
weeks.
minutes.
On the real. Like, we ain't made it to the next month yet. I ain't been 32 for a month, but
well, now I'm just trying to go hard now, you know,
on the real.
Before the 18.
Hey, listen, get it all in. Which is funny, because guys, I was premature, baby. So I was
born early too.
Supposed to be born in March, so I was premature. You might have been like early bird.
I was like 2 weeks early.
Okay, that don't count. I was supposed to be born in like 2 additional months. Like, I was supposed to be baking still. So technically, I'm younger.
No, that means that God saw fit to make you older than me. So he made that water break and he sent that baby out because he said, you are called.
You are ready.
You are ready and you are called to be older than Sherry Renee. We don't know what else you're going to do in life, but you will be.
Hey, older than Sherry. Hey, I'm going to take it then. I'm a fake older.
I don't know if I'm going to accept 32 or not. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, because I feel like you did not accept 31. Like, at all.
I was like,
like, she was really not on that, y'all. And I was like, first of all, you don't let me tell you happy birthday. That's number one. Like, she was just like, yeah, no. Like, we not doing. Like, 30 was so tight. I think for all of us, like 30 was just an amazing, like we were just ready. Like we ripped through the paper, like Eye of the Tiger was playing.
I think we were ready for the shift. You know?
I think so too.
Like we were like, no more 20 shenanigans.
Yeah, like we grown, like this is it. Yeah. Our life, we about to get it popping. Like we were just so optimistic and so ready for 30. And it was tight. Like for your birthday, we had a ball. Like it was just great. Like celebrating your life. We cried, we laughed, we got on each other's nerve. We did everything. Yeah, like everything you could do, we did it. But then 31, you was just like, no. Like
it wasn't no. It was just like I don't have the energy for this.
Yeah,
I just want to have peace for 31. You know, like I didn't want to do a trip.
You didn't.
I didn't want to go nowhere.
Nothing.
I didn't want nobody to write on my wall.
You didn't.
Because I'm like, I don't want to respond.
Yep.
So like I just wanted peace.
Yeah. None of that. I was just like, girl, okay, I get it, but here, I'm about to tell you happy birthday because I ain't gonna let the day go by without not being grateful for your life and that you're a part of my life. So I was just like, nope, not me. I'm about to tell you. So yeah, like even my mom was like, "What, is Sherry okay? Like she don't want to celebrate her birthday?" Because I was just like, nope, she ain't on it this year. So yeah,
sometimes it feels like work, you know, and it's just like I do a lot of work.
No, you're right. Birthdays do be a lot. Like even for my 31st, I was just like, man, like whatever. Like if it comes together, it comes together, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that was fine. But 30, we like had a plan in place. 32, like even this birthday, I was really like, no, we gonna make it a good one. Like I want it to be tight. Like I want to celebrate and hang out with the people who have been with me, like who know me. So I was like, I really want this like sisterhood feel. Like let's go do something. Because I like I said, like learning that my sister has breast cancer really threw my perspective. And I knew it, but again, it hadn't touched me so close. Where I was like, life is short. Like it really like you could go.
It's the difference
at any
between
moment.
Wisdom and knowledge, right? It's like, you know, you know, but you don't understand. Like you know life is short because you know people die every day.
Every day, right.
But then when you see your people affected and hurt and, you know, withering away, then you're like, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
That threw me off. So I was just like, you know, every day that I'm here in this world and I'm breathing and I'm able-bodied, like, I gotta live because you don't get any redo. You don't get to try this over. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is not for her.
It is not a drill.
It's not.
This is
like,
not a drill.
You gotta live, man.
Thing.
So that's why this birthday, I was like, I wanted to do something that was gonna be fun for everybody and inclusive for everybody. And I was just inviting everybody. If you wanted to come. If you couldn't come, it's okay. Like I'm not gonna be mad at you. But if you were there, like I just want you to know I love you for real. So that's what I wanted this birthday to be like.
What do you think your legacy has been for the last 32 years? 11,680 days.
I feel like, I don't know. That's a good question. And for me to answer, it might be a little hard, but I would love to hear what, you know, people who know me would think about my legacy.
Oh,
like,
for
what
the
am I
record,
leaving?
you're 48 days older than me.
No.
I think something like that.
That's a lot. Are
exactly.
you sure?
Something like that. I don't know.
Jeez. I didn't think it was that far apart.
Maybe 44. Okay. I don't know. The point is, it's a lot.
I'm like, 48, that's a lot. That's almost like 2 months, so that can't be right.
60 is 2 months.
Oh, well, close to. But anyway, so yeah, that might be tricky for me to answer, but I will say what I hope my legacy has been over this time is I've been pretty consistent with, you know, how I treat people, how I, you know, want to help and how I try to inspire and invoke that positive spirit in people. I hope that's been consistent because that's the way I live my life every day. So I would like to say, you know, thinking about my own, you know, when I pass and, you know, if I have like a ceremony, because again, I don't want to have a funeral. But anyway, at my ceremony, I would hope people would be like, you know, she really left me inspired, or she left me with a positive feeling, or she was always like this good vibe. Like, that's what I want people to say about me. Like, she really was a good, like, genuine person who really cared about me is, I think, what's important for me to leave behind.
Interesting. Interesting.
That's what I would hope. You know, I don't want people fronting at my funeral like, she was so great and all that. Like, no. Like, don't do that. Like, 'cause I already know. Like,
yeah,
you know.
Right. Like, don't lie. Just don't get up there.
Yeah, just don't say none of that. But if I definitely, like, made you feel a way, or, you know, I was impactful, like, in a positive way, then say that. Like, yeah, she made me feel like this, or whatever. But that's definitely the legacy that I hope I'm leaving behind, of just, you know, making people feel the way that I know they deserve to feel. Because this world will have you thinking that you not nothing, or, you know, social media and everything else, and being black in this world. But I definitely want to be that person to uplift and be like, you can do this, or you are an amazing person, or, you know, you can start this business and you are tight. So things like that.
So then what do you want to be able to say at 42? Like, what's the 10-year plan?
Wow.
So you're going to be 42 one day. That's crazy, right?
That's like, oh no. But it's crazy because, you know, you see these like actresses and stuff that's like 40s and 50s and they look good. And even like people I know, like some of my sorors who are about to be 40. My sister is about to be 40 next year. And it's just like, where? Like, y'all don't, I guess in my mind, like, maybe when we were kids, like, 40 was, like, really old.
Yeah.
Like, granny.
Right. Yeah.
But now it's just, like, that's not the case. So, at 42, I would definitely like to keep that same energy of, you know, being impactful and uplifting. And definitely, in a better space as far as, like, finances. Of course, I want to be set there. And just, wow, that's in 10 years. So, wow, my kid will be 20 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. So he would be a young adult. So definitely like, instilling values into him that I hope will, you know, grow and be great fruit so that he will be a good man. So hopefully the things I'm teaching him now will set in, and, you know, I can watch him really navigate the world and not really have to worry about him, because in the climate that we live in right now, it's really unfortunate that, you know, that's an extra burden that, you know, you have as a black mom who's raising a black son to ensure that he's even gonna come home. So hopefully, you know, we've instilled in him the tools that he needs so that he will be safe and, you know, successful. So just watching him grow up and be a young man is definitely something I'm looking forward to. And if I have another kid, like watching that kid and, you know, loving my life and my family and, you know, being around family more and friends more, I think is where I want to be at 42, to be like, let's just hang out or let's go on this vacation. Like, I want to be in that spot.
What would 32-year-old Chanel tell 16-year-old Chanel?
Oh, that's good.
These is all freestyle.
This is right.
Go ahead.
That's good.
I was listening to the Breakfast Club and they asked Lil Duval a question about the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, and he gave a really good answer. And then they were like, wow, that was really good. He was like, yeah, and I wasn't even prepared. That was a freestyle.
He's so silly. I would love to see him in live though, but that's random. But I would
so that's how I felt right now. But in any case, back to the question.
This is good though, and it's definitely making me like, wow, be really thinking about my life. But I would definitely tell 16-year-old Chanel was so unsure of herself and so naive. Like, it was at the core of these daddy issues. Like, they were raging. Like, what does it look like to be loved by a man? Like, the things that you accept and, you know, the things that you allow people to kind of put you through. I was just kind of lost and looking for something that, you know, couldn't really be given to me by just a regular man. Like, I needed to look to God. But at 16, at least I wasn't definitely like, oh, let me read the Bible or go to church. Like, that's not where I was. But 16, I was really trying to force love. Like, that's where I was. I think I had a high school boyfriend at that time. And shout out to him. He a good dude. Like, I ain't gonna knock him. So at that time, you know, he was my boyfriend, and I was really at a place where I wanted to be loved by him so bad, where it was just like, okay, whatever. And, you know, he wasn't, like I said, a bad guy, but he was just like, yeah, like, I'm not going to tell you that. Like, I'm not going to say I love you or nothing like that. So it was really, like, hurtful because I thought it was me. Like, then I put the blame on myself to be like, well, you're unlovable, or, you know, this is your fault. So I think me now would be like, it's not your fault. Like, you can't control the hearts of other people, and just be so full of yourself that you don't look for that outside reinforcement or that outside love, because, you know, you are loved, and to really own and recognize that is what I would tell my 16-year-old self.
Do you think that you resolved your daddy issues?
No, I'm gonna be honest. Because right now, and this has been some conversations that I've had with my brother and with my boyfriend at this moment. Like, he asked me about it too, where my dad has early onset Alzheimer's. He's been living in like a assisted living type of home, and I've been like, when I got his number from my brother. Like, me and my brother had reconnected, and I got my dad's number, and I was like, well, I'm going to call him and, you know, set this stuff up. And I would call him, and I don't know what was wrong with his phone or whatever, but I never got in touch with him. And my brother was just saying, like, well, you know, sometimes his phone isn't on and all this other stuff. So I was just like, okay. But then I went back to the point where I was like, well, I'm not going to try. So that's been my dilemma. Like, reach out to him or just be like, no. But the heart that I have won't allow me to just be like, forget him. Because, again, like, if I pick up the paper one day, they don't even have papers anymore, really, but whatever. So if I'm on JS Online and I'm looking at the obituary section and my dad is in there, like, I would feel some type of way because I didn't have a chance to, you know, tell him what was on my heart or forgive him or whatever the case may be. We've never had a conversation. So I would feel some type of way. So I think once I build up the courage to reach out to him like full force and go see him and kind of really tell him, you know, how his absence has impacted me, even if I don't get like I'm sorry or, you know, I wish I could have done this, but I need to at least like release what's on my heart so that I can get over it and not really hold on to it. I think is what I need to do. So no, I haven't really gotten over that daddy issue, but it's coming. I'm definitely trying to push myself to do that.
So what's the fear?
I think
because you said courage, so what's
the fear is with him having Alzheimer's. I don't want to go in there. He's like, well, who are you? Mm-hmm. I think that would that would really throw me off because he doesn't, I mean, it's not his fault because Alzheimer's is what it is, but I would really feel sad that, you know, my whole life, and I would take it personally. I know I would, but it's not his fault because he has his disease. But in my mind, it would be like, well, you don't even know me. Like, I've just been out in this world. You have a whole kid that you know nothing about. But if he you know, come in there, he's like, well, who is that? Like, what is, like, or just little stuff like, do you even know my birthday or what's my whole name? Like, stuff like that is fearful that I don't know if I'm ready to hear what he would say, like what his answers would be.
So what do you think the risk is of not doing that, of not having the conversation, of not facing the fear, of not getting some resolve?
The risk is I'm just gonna be out here. Now I feel like it's definitely making me have this missing piece. Like, I don't have any peace in that area, knowing that this relationship that, or non-existent relationship that he and I have is not resolved. So how can I move forward in the relationship that I'm in now with this man and I'm not even resolved from this relationship with my dad, I feel like it's going to forever affect any relationship that I have with men because I haven't resolved that with him.
And how do you think, so what would be the impact? How do you think it's going to affect it?
Because then I think I'm going to keep forcing stuff that's not, may or may not be what the man wants. And shout out to my boyfriend, but I don't think, like, we're not at a place either where we're just like, oh, like, I love you and blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to force that on him. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be upset when he's not ready to express those feelings to me because I want it so badly. Mm-hmm. And I need to understand that you can show people you care about them and, you care about their well-being in other ways where it doesn't have to look like what I think it should look like because I didn't get that from my dad. And I feel like I'm just kind of pulling strings at it, and I have to keep reminding myself that it's okay. So I think without having that resolution from my dad, then I'm going to keep pushing that into my relationships with other people.
Mm-hmm. So then which one weighs greater? The fear of him possibly not knowing who you are, and don't get me wrong, that could hurt.
I know,
you know
right?
What I mean?
I would be
like
sad.
If you walk in and he's like, "Who is that?"
Yeah.
And then too, sometimes when people have that, I told you my great grandmother did that to me.
Yeah.
She had dementia and Alzheimer's, and I'm in her room decorating, putting up Christmas decorations and stuff. I leave the room and she turns to my mom and says, "Now who was that?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Really?"
Right. Like, you don't know me.
Right. Like, really?
See, yeah.
But, when a relationship is already broken and then somebody has the nerve to say something like that with no ill intent.
Yeah.
It could be detrimental.
It will. And that's
even though that they have no ill intent behind it, you have no choice but to take it personal because it's like the least you could do is acknowledge me.
Exactly.
And so for someone who feels like they've been looking for love for 16 years and who hasn't had that from their father, and then when you're in your vulnerable state, I'm coming to extend an olive branch to you and you gonna dismiss me?
Right. Like, you didn't know who I am and I'm doing all the work. Right. Yes. Like,
so I don't want to minimize it. That's my whole point of saying all of that. But which one weighs more? Is it, the potential or the possibility that he could dismiss you, not acknowledge you, and ignore you, or going on into relationships that have holes in which you are misplacing love?
I think the going on in these relationships and them having holes, because I feel like not only is it not beneficial for me, but it's not beneficial for that guy either. Like, it's not his fault that I keep bringing all these issues. Like, nobody, like, he can't fix it. Like, the only person that can fix it is God, and then me at least trying to fix this relationship with my dad. Like, I never want to, at this point, not at 32, like, I'm not going to bring all of these issues to somebody else, because I feel like a healthy relationship, like, I need to be content and as whole as I can be before I try to impart that on somebody else. So that's definitely not what I want to do. And like I said, my boyfriend now, he's been very, like, the way he moves, he's very, like, calculated, and he's been very patient. He will remind me, like, okay, well, did you reach out to your dad? Like, what happened? And when I say no, he's like, okay, well, why is that? Like, he wants to know, like, what was the reasoning behind it. And then he'll give suggestions like, well, maybe do this, or, don't rush through it. Like, take your time. But I feel like that's something that if you really need to do that, then you should go ahead and do it. So I feel like for me, I don't want to mess up nobody else's life, and because I would feel bad about doing that. So now here I am, this person who has these daddy issues, and I'm bringing this to you, and then what does that look like? But you see I don't want him to see me like that, because that's not the overall Chanel that, you know I can bring to a relationship. So once, I get that figured out with my dad, I think I'll be better in any relationship that I'm in, especially with men.
Yeah. And I would agree. But also I would add that it also teaches your son something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how they say, kids always pay attention to what their parents do, not what they say.
That's for sure.
So you can tell them all day the right way, how love should look and whatever, but ultimately they're going to do what they see. Well, not all of them, but
for the
a lot
part,
of times they do what they
see
you do.
Yep. And I would love that. Like, I don't... It's glue in my hand. I don't even know if my dad knows I have a kid. Like, I don't know what he knows. I know he's never met my son, because when the first time I met my dad, it might not have been the first time, but the first time I met him face to face, I was 18. And at that point, I didn't have a kid. So I was just out here by myself. Like my brother and my siblings, they know I have a kid, but I don't know if my dad knows, and I don't know how much they, tell him about keeping up with me. So it would be dope, like, if I can really, like, first, how I want it to happen in my mind, like, I want to have a private conversation with my dad to get some of those things, off of my chest, like, why weren't you there? Like,
do you want a private conversation, or would you want, like, your mom there, or someone that can maybe make it less uncomfortable?
No, like, I really want, and I want him to be lucid too. I guess that's the other part. Like, I want him to be lucid so that he understands, who I am and what the issue is. But no, I want it, because my brother definitely offered, like, I'll come with you, like, we can go sit with him, because my brother, like, checks in on him more than probably anybody does, any of us does, which would be nice. Like, I told him he could come, but for me, I really need to just sit with him by myself. I don't even know what that looks like, because when I met him when I was 18, like, all my siblings were there. So it was kind of that we were staring at each other, like, trying to get a feel for each other, like, but it was like all eyes were on us, because I was the new kid that was coming to meet their dad. So I didn't get that moment to really spend or talk to him, or to get to learn about him. So I need that moment. Like, I just need to sit with him and chill with him and talk to him and, probably cry. And I need to ask those questions, like, where were you? Like, why weren't you around? Regardless of what the answers may be, because it might hurt. But I still need to hear it for my own, like, I don't know, personal being. And I need to tell him that I do forgive him. Life is short. Like I said, if my dad died today, I'm going to be salty. Like, I'm really going to be sad that I've never had this relationship with this man. I don't know this man. Like, I don't know my dad's birthday. Like, I don't know anything about him. Like, nothing. Like, I just know his first and last name, and that's it.
I want to offer a story.
Okay, story time.
There's a guy that reached out to me on LinkedIn, and he said, I'm so sorry for reaching out to you on this platform, but this is the only way that I could reach you. And he said, we share blood. According to we share DNA according to Ancestry.com. So, last year my grandmother passed away, and then my grandfather randomly passed away. So then I was like, oh my God, who am I? What's going on in the world? Right. And I was trying to do like a family tree. I sent in my saliva to Ancestry.com, and they match you with people. But then, like, so I was all gung-ho with it, went as far as I could go, went back as far as I could. And then I, like, logged off and never logged back in. And so he apparently had been messaging me on there, but I never read them. And so he's telling me, I don't know who my dad is. He's like, all I know, he has very few information. He's like, all I know is that me and you matched, and I just want to know. I don't want anything from you. I just want to know who my family is. He's biracial, and he's like, I literally don't know any anybody on the black side of my family. And so, you know, I was asking my mom questions and da-da-da-da-da. And then, so I called him on three-way with my uncle. Him and my uncle are the same age.
Whoa.
They were born a couple days apart at the same hospital.
What?
And I think that my grandfather is his dad. I don't know.
Okay.
But I think. And I think that my grandfather was cheating on my uncle's mom at the time. Mind you, my grandfather had 7 wives. And for my whole life, he was married to one of them.
Right.
Right. But there's a lot that happened before I was born. Right. And so I was asking, so in order for us to prove that, I would need my mother to take a DNA test or my uncle. Right.
Yeah.
Someone who would be his sibling. I'm not a sibling. But, you know, my mom is really hesitant to do it. And I was just telling her, like, this man has, he all he wants to know, like, screw the image of your daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he just wants to know who he is. And when I told him that he passed away, he was so hurt. He was like, I finally came this far and found you, and for you to tell me that he just died last year.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And then his mom gave him a different name, in which that's his name and his son's name. So he was like, I just feel like my whole life is a lie. Like, I just want answers.
That's
and so
crazy.
I was telling my mom, like, would you consider just doing this test to give this man some peace, please?
Right, because it's either gonna be like a yes or no, like
right,
at least,
either
way, yeah, we can.
But if
move
it's not,
on.
then he can continue his journey.
Yeah,
but to get so close and then know that the person who may be your dad is now gone forever, there's some stuff that you're never gonna get an answer from.
Absolutely.
But if you are his sibling, then maybe you can at least try to fill in some gaps. You know?
Yeah.
And so I guess my whole point is, while the blood is still, you know, warm in his veins, it might be ugly, it might hurt him, all of that.
All of it.
But get what you need.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, those answers, those things have to be answered at some point. But no, I totally feel that guy. Like, just being in this world and not knowing who you are, not knowing, like when we was at the bar and I was like, my dad could walk in here right now, I wouldn't know.
Even know who he is.
Like, I wouldn't know that was him, because I remember going to see him when I was 18, but it was such a blur and so much stuff happening that I don't even remember what he looks like, which is crazy. And like, same thing with siblings. Like, I know them, but I mean, through social media, which is wonderful, but I don't know any of them. I don't know if we have the same sense of humor or if we laugh the same, or I don't know anything about, I don't know any of that about my dad. Like, does he like spicy food like me, or is he funny? Like, I don't know any of that stuff.
And I think that I think for him, he feels like he doesn't know who he is because he doesn't know his parents.
Yep.
You know what
and
I mean?
And that's how I felt. A lot of the time we're just like, well, who am I? Or, you know, my sister would talk about like her grandparents and her dad, and it's just like, but I don't know any of that side of my family. Like, yeah, so that's definitely something where I'm just like, every day, and I kind of, I really have to find, like I said, that courage to really be intentional about picking up the phone and calling him, because I know what's gonna be behind that door. Like, it's gonna be sad. But I also know, like, if I don't and I keep pushing it off, then I am going to pick up the paper or get a call one day and I'm like, he's dead, and I'm gonna be like, yeah. So,
well, maybe start with a small step.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna try to call him again and see, and then I'm gonna reach out to my brother, and then maybe we just gonna have to pop up on him. But again, like, I want to pop up on him, which is fine, but if he's not lucid and he like, well, who's that? And then I'm gonna be like, ugh. So, or
if he's in a assisted care living facility, maybe call them and let them know that you want to have a private meeting. Like, what's the best time? I don't know, before or after the meds. I don't know which one is better, but when people are typically not there, nobody's coming in checking his blood pressure or whatever. Like, I need a good hour.
Yeah.
Alone. When will be the best time to do that? And then you could talk to them too. Like, is he coherent? How's his memory? You know?
Yeah. No, that's good. I need to get on that because I just want to talk to him. Like, I want to look at him. You know, you look at your parents or, you know, in my case, like I look at my mom and I can see parts of me in her, you know? Yes. Like we have like the same hands. It's just like little stuff where I'm just like, wow, that's where that comes from. But then for him on his side, like I don't know him. Like I don't know what he looked like. So I don't know what parts of me, you know, comes through him or parts of my son that even reflects him. Like I don't know that. So yeah, that would be definitely something on this 32 journey that I need to figure out that piece of the chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it does hurt. Like the other day I had a really good conversation with my mom. And I just asked her, I was like, you know, when I was born, did you want me? And she was like, of course I did. And I was like, did you?
Did you really?
And she said, I didn't. And I was like, I don't judge you.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. Because knowing then, if your husband is an addict.
Yep.
So your first child was conceived in love. Your second child, this man is driving you crazy. You're in high stress.
Yep.
You're crying all the time. I totally get why I'm so sensitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, if you were experiencing that in the womb, for sure.
And then why I'm so depressed.
They lived somewhere else too, right?
Right, they was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So it was just different. It was just different circumstances. I told her, I was like, I'm not even mad. But it felt so good for her to finally admit it.
You need to hear those things. Yeah.
Like, I ain't mad about it. I don't judge you for it. I wouldn't have wanted me either. Who would? It's not personal.
Yep.
You did not want me. You didn't want a child.
Yep.
You know what I mean? At this time. Who wants to have a baby with someone who has an addiction?
Yep.
Who's driving you literally crazy?
Yep.
Who's breaking into your house, stealing your stuff? The reason why you gotta get put out. You know what I mean? Like,
couldn't
just
even
going
imagine.
through. Like, who wants to have another person? And so I knew that my mom never named me, but it used to bother me because I would be like, it literally doesn't make sense. Everybody in my family's name starts with a B. It would have been very simple and very easy for you to be like Brittany, Brianna,
right?
Hell,
Something,
Bianca,
right.
I don't care,
Somebody.
right? Something, B, I don't know, whatever,
BB,
right? But I was like, so you know, like just little things like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like just little stuff. She always kind of slighted me throughout my life. And so you know when you're not wanted. You know when people are tolerating you.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And so she was like, hurry up, here he comes, somebody name her. So my uncle's mom named me. Oh, how about Sherry? Yep, put it down. You know what I mean? What kind of stuff is that? But she didn't want him to take anything else away from her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get it now, but she never told me any of this.
And thinking about that trauma, that's trauma that she was going through.
And so I was reading about it. And if you're having a high stress pregnancy and you're always crying and whatever, you induce that stress on the baby.
Absolutely.
And that baby will grow up to either have anxiety and or depression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a real thing.
Yes.
But like I said, I think that even the ugly stories help us know who we are. And why we are the way that we are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, even I'm not saying that it's going to change anything.
Right.
But it felt so good for her to finally just say no.
Yep. And then it makes sense for you too to be like, okay, well now I recognize,
right.
my
because
own.
Now I don't have all the animosity that I had for you my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It makes sense.
Because I understand it as an adult.
Yep.
But if you never acknowledge it, if you never tell me, then I just think you a horrible mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was like, of course, I'm not tripping.
Yeah. To think about that turmoil that she was going through. And
well, it's amazing that you kept me.
Exactly. Away from her family in a whole nother state with this man who doing too much at this point. So it's just like, ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with.
But I think that too, that it just goes to show that the things that you do, it does affect your kids. Even it don't matter if you don't say it. It don't matter if you don't acknowledge it. It doesn't matter if you won't admit it. They can always feel it.
Yep.
And they always know like what's going on. But don't get me wrong. I think that she definitely did a heck of a job, and she definitely did the best that she could in that horrible situation.
Absolutely.
But now I feel like I have more sympathy for her. So I think that if you could get an understanding of what was going on with your dad at the time, not to say that it makes everything okay.
Right.
But you could just kind of be like, okay, if I was caught up in what he was caught up in at that time,
right, what would that look
have
like?
a certain level of understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That definitely makes sense. And yeah, your mom did a heck of a job going through all of that. Because like you said, she could have chose not to have the baby at all. But listen, she pushed through. She was like, yeah, it's my baby, but here, I gotta make it do what it do. And that's what so many like moms do anyway. They make it work. Out of all of that, you make it work.
Right, but they don't address.
I
think a lot of people make stuff work.
For sure.
They making dollars out of 15 cents left and right.
They don't address it. You right, because yeah. And that's maybe a conversation I need to have too with my mom. Like, what was really the depth of the relationship? Because from what I know about the relationship between my mom and my dad, and I'm sure she'll check me if I'm wrong, but he was married. So I don't know. I'm just call it a spade. If my mom was a side chick and she was like with him and she just happened to get pregnant, and you know, people have mouthpieces, so maybe she thought it was something that it wasn't. But that is a dynamic that now I'm conceived by this man who had a whole nother family, and now here I come. And I'm sure that stressed my mom out. Because I was 2 months premature. Like, I was 3 pounds and 13 ounces when I was born. Right. So she was going through some stuff.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but just to even know that your mom witnessed her mom passing away through child labor. In my mind, your mom, when she was pregnant with you and your sister, she was probably like
stressed out,
scared.
And the same thing kind of happened. She almost died with my sister too. So my mom is definitely she's been through a lot of stuff, but she lost a lot of blood. Like she was like hemorrhaging after she had my sister. And it's crazy because the same thing happened to my sister too after she had one of her kids. Like she hemorrhaged really, really bad. So yeah, it's going through a lot. But I would definitely like to sit down and have that conversation with her and to have the conversation with my dad to see, you know, what really happened. And like you said, like as an adult, you see things differently now. So now I can sympathize with what was happening because, you know, I have a kid. So I know what the stress is like when you out here raising a kid and things don't work out, the relationship doesn't work. And here we are. Like now we got to keep moving with this kid.
No, I agree. I think that if you understand what was really going on during that time, like, okay, he had a whole nother family. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this wasn't the plan.
Yep.
You know, then you kind of, again, it doesn't make anything okay.
Yep.
But you can at least understand their frame of thought.
Yeah.
And why they chose what they chose. So it just becomes less personal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It becomes less personal and more something that they were caught up in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then to not take it so personally for me because, you know, stuff happens in your life and I don't want them to be like, okay, well, this happened to me, so I'm beating myself up about it. Like, there's nothing that I could have changed with whatever was going on in their lives. So, yeah, I'm definitely, that's what I'm going to do for 32 is really figure that part out. And I feel like a little weight will be lifted off of my shoulders to be like, okay, well, now I know whether, like I said, good or bad, but now I know and I can move forward.
Because the truth literally will set you free.
It will.
You know what I mean? Yep. Sometimes the truth is ugly. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes when you're hearing the truth, you're going to be like, what?
So, wait a minute. Lord.
But I think ultimately then it makes sense. And one thing I know that you'll find is that whatever you learn, it's going to be something that you knew all along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I knew that she didn't. I knew that.
You felt it, yeah.
Right, I knew that. But then when she finally said it, I was like, and then I got to put it into context. Then I was like, of course you did. You know, what person in their right mind would?
Ooh. Yes.
You just wanted to be free.
Listen.
You know,
that's true.
So it's one of those things. Just like, you know, that's why I wanted to have my dad come on to talk about his addiction. Like, what happened? Like, how y'all was raised in the church, so holier than now, and then like what? You know what I'm saying? But I think it's one of those things too that when you actually listen, you know, with an open ear. Because again, remember before, I just was like, oh, he chose something else. He chose drugs and not me.
Yep.
You know, instead of realizing, oh my goodness, he's an addict.
Yes.
You know, like that gives you a whole different perspective on what choosing drugs means.
Yep.
So, you know, ugly truths, man. But then it'll make you be like, okay, but you still know that you are always your parents' kids.
Yeah.
So you do have some of the qualities in you that they have. So just because sometimes they may have taken those things and used them for bad, you can still take them and use them for good, but then you can still be mindful of where this could go.
Yeah.
You know, so like me, that's why I ain't smoking no weed. I ain't doing none of that.
None of this.
Ever.
Listen, oh, no.
Oh, just what? Nope. And now I'm too old. Like, I'm too old for this stuff now. Ain't nobody about to start a bad habit today.
Listen, I think that was me too with cigarettes. Like, my mom had smoked so long, and I know why she did it, because, I mean, she started smoking when she was like 12. That's coping. Like, you're trying to cope with the hard life that you had. But me, I was just like, yeah, no, I can never smoke a cigarette. And I always took it back to cigarettes are expensive. I'm wasting money. Like, and the way that I need money, I wasn't with it. So that was my thing where I was just like, you know, I'll never pick up a cigarette. But it's funny because sometimes, you know, you want to break these cycles that your parents have, but then you ultimately kind of find yourself in it. Did I want to be a single mom? No. That was never
because we
my
do
goal.
What we saw
And
not what they told
said.
us.
Absolutely.
I'm sure your mom was like, don't ever do this.
Yes, she was like, don't have no baby, like, don't do this, you don't find the right guy. And you know, you get those mouthpieces, and you know, you have this plan for your life, and you know, you both think, you and the person that you're in a relationship with thinks that it's gonna work, and things don't work, and that's okay. So I'm not knocking anybody, but would I have wanted this for myself and my kid? No, absolutely not. This is not what I had planned for him. I didn't want him to see this like separate households, and you know, you go live with your mama one week and you go live with your dad, but we got to make it work. This is what we're doing. This is where we are. And you just got to keep moving forward. But you know, as my son gets older and he starts to have those questions, and I will make it very clear to him, like, this is not ideally how I wanted to bring you into this world. This is not what I wanted to do. But I had to keep moving forward, and this is where we are.
True indeed.
Yeah.
And I think it's still not too late. You know what I mean? Like you said, you want to have another baby.
Yeah.
You want to get married. So I think that you still, time is not up.
Oh, yeah,
know?
no.
Like, you can for sure still show him, and you can model that. But I do think the risk is if you don't make amends with your dad, right? Because then you continue to carry it on.
Yeah, that's definitely the root of everything. Like, I feel like once that happens, this conversation with my dad, which I'm dreading and looking forward to, if that makes sense. Like, I want to do it because I know the peace that I'll have after.
It's growing pains, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go through it.
But I know doing it, it's just gonna be like, no, it's gonna be a lot of tears to sit and face the person that was never in your life.
Don't wear no makeup.
I'm
bring
not.
Your tissue.
Yeah, I'm definitely be real ugly. He might be like, "Who is that?"
And then just show him a picture like, this is what I normally look like.
You know, here are a few selfies,
right,
just for reference. Your daughter out here a baddie.
Right, exactly. Okay. Look, this is a birthday shot.
You know, I get cute sometimes, Dad. But yeah, so it's I'm looking forward to it, and I know that's something that I need to do. In
my mind, it's probably freeing for him too, because you know, I think when people have been away from people for so long, it gets harder for them to re-enter into their life, because they don't have a viable excuse for why they were gone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it just becomes a way of life.
Yeah.
But I think if you open the door, especially like he said, if he is able to be coherent, I mean, I'm sure he'll probably be like very proud of you, number one.
Yeah.
Like, dang, I can't believe my daughter is out here doing this and doing this and doing that. Yeah. Like, wow, who would have thought?
I know, right?
Despite, because, you know, that's what my dad always says, like, despite who I am, look at you.
You're
like,
amazing. Absolutely.
Like, you should be out here.
Listen. You know? Tight, right. You could be out here.
You should be out here bad.
Some people, listen, they let it be a crutch, and some people be like, no, I'm not going to do this. But I always think that, like, and that's not just for my dad, but any dad, like, I just be wanting to ask them all, like, how can you not be in your kid life? Like, don't get that. Like, knowing every day that you have this person out here, and you're nowhere near their life. Because I know so many good dads, like your brother, amazing dads, there doing hair, doing homework. My son's dad is there, like, making sure his kid does homework, taking him to get haircuts, taking him to the gym. My boyfriend, he's there, like, with his daughter, taking her to daycare, reading with her. So I know what a good dad, and these probably are men who their own dads didn't really model or show them. So I wonder, I mean, at the time, that was definitely like our community thing where men were just like jumping ship. Like, what were y'all doing?
Your dad is unfortunately in the generation.
Yeah.
Where dads were being straight up. I 100% commend these millennial dads.
Yeah.
I think that they are phenomenal.
Amazing.
Like,
shout out to all of you.
On average, you know, like, the millennial dad is like very active and like willing to either co-parent, or sometimes they are the single parent and all of that. But I think that our dads were in the generation where they were absent, and that was kind of the thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was a cultural thing where it was known that the dad just wouldn't be there, and
crazy.
That the grandmother and the mother was doing everything and would take care of the kids. So those were the times, and I think that we got to put things into context. And you know, when we were reading Michelle Obama's book, one thing that she always did was when she was telling you stories, she let you know what the climate was politically, socially, so that you could have reference as to why things were the way that they were. It wasn't just like, this person is just a bad person. Yeah. They grew up in an era where this was what it was. And so and then too, you could probably learn a lot from your dad about his family and how he was raised. And that probably plays a big factor.
Yeah. And how he, his parenting style. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And a lot of times it's hard for people to give what they don't have, but that's why I shout out the millennial dads. Because they did grow up fatherless, and they were just like, you know what, we tired of this. We starting a movement.
People
gonna stop calling us deadbeats.
Yes,
that's what they gonna do.
These millennial dads out
they be on field trips. Okay, they be braiding hair,
everything, like
making ponytails.
I see so many dads at school, like I
doing
just
positive
really be like,
affirmations with their daughters in the mirror. Like, they be doing them all.
Dance recitals, polishing toenails.
I'm scared to be a mother. I'm just gonna be for real.
On the real, like, I
don't know what I'm gonna do.
Listen, that's why I be beating myself up. Like, am I doing a good job?
I'm scared out here because I'm like, he ain't gonna show me up.
On the real, is the daddy out here just knocking it out the park all the time?
Look, I feel like if I had a child, they would be like, now, Billy, we're very familiar with your dad, but we have not seen your mom.
Listen,
like, what is she? Is she alive? Is she good?
And
what does she do?
Real, y'all.
Because your daddy be at every conference,
that's
every field trip, but your mama don't be here. What's going on?
I'm sure JR school be like, yo, mama trifling. Like, where do she be? Because it be dad, and I'm an educator too, so our schedules never work out where I can't go to anything, but his daddy be there, and they probably be like, so this your mama? Like,
right.
What's your name again? Because our last names are different, so they be like, who are you? It's a mess, but yeah. Hey, that's what it is. So shout out to the millennial dads. You guys are awesome. And
yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are.
We gonna definitely shout
got the women out here scared.
On the real, like, we gotta step our game up. Like, millennial moms, where we at?
But I'm hoping that the next shift is that it's no more dad or mom or co-parenting. It's more of a family.
Yes,
it's more of a unit.
That's what I'm praying, that we start to get back to that family unit, and that strong sense of community too, that if I see your son in the neighborhood and he not doing what he need to do, I could have a conversation with him. But that close knit, like, community family unit, we definitely need to get back to that, like, where your neighbors, the mom and the dad, and you know their children and what school they go to, and y'all carpool. Like, I'm with that, like, that type of feel, that community. That's where we need to go, and I feel like we're starting to get there. Like, I think it's getting there. For sure. I'm seeing a lot of Black love and what that looks like, and people making it legit. So hopefully we stay on that. It's beautiful. And our kids need it. They need to see that.
So what is the takeaway? What goes in the to-go box? That's the last thing on the menu.
On the menu. Wow. You just talked about my whole life. That was great. Look at your life, Chanel. I am taking away that every year that I get older, I still recognize that I have things to learn and I can still continue to grow. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm 40. I'm a woman. I'm 40. Like, I can keep going and I can keep growing and, I can keep learning. I think that that's my takeaway. So at 32, hopefully I get in this fellowship. So I'm going to go back to school and I just want to keep learning and growing and being the best possible me that I can. Because again, life is short and I want to live my life to the fullest and, make my people proud and leave a beautiful legacy for my son and my future kids and my husband, my futures.
Amen.
There we go.
Amen.
What you taking away? In 23 days, you'll be 32.
Oh, no. That's a lie.
You'll be 30 plus 2.
Just that we have to consider our actions and the impact that it has on everyone around us. The people that come after us and before us, and just being mindful of the legacy that we want to leave, and knowing that we can't necessarily fix everything, but we can certainly make it the best that we can.
That's true. That's good.
So, because I know for me, I'm going to have more conversations with my mom about what was going on then.
Nice.
Like, what was going on.
Yep. And to think about the weight and the burdens that will be lifted off your shoulders, because then you'll know. Like we said, whether good or bad, but at least you know, and you don't have to take that into, your relationships.
Right, because what you don't know, your mind will fill in the gaps. And sometimes you just go worst case scenario.
And you do the most.
And
that's me. In a nutshell. So, yeah. All right.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time.
Peace. Thanks, guys, for listening to Brunch with Besties podcast. Be sure to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, now YouTube, and Google Play. Basically, we airware. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a review and rate us. We would so appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to find us on Twitter. Our handle is BrunchWBesties. On IG, you can find us at Brunch with Besties Podcast. And if you'd like, you can shoot us an email. Our Gmail is brunchwithbestiespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Peace.